Good morning! How is everyone? It's another Monday. We made it. I'm just picking through all the scraps. And we're going to do the stems for these, for these little guys here. So last Saturday, like 2 days ago, why does it seem like it's so long ago? But last Saturday, we did a couple of these little guys all around. So, Bandit is sleeping. Cute. So now we're just going to do the stems here, and we're going to do a split stitch for the stem. Now, I don't think we actually did the split stitch in this stitch along yet, which is surprising because I quite like the split stitch. It can look like chain stitch a little bit, but it's not. So those are too small. Let me get a new one. I want to use this light color because I don't think I've used this color yet either. And it's 1042. So there's two different ways to do the split stitch. Let me just see how many strands. I think I'm going to do 4. 4 strands. So I'm just going to pull 2 out, thread my needle, and we'll jump on it. So you can do the split stitch for the stem and then do your own little leaves because I've showed you a lot of different ways to do leaves so far. So if you feel inspired by any of them, of course you can use those ways. Or you can do a detached chain stitch, any of the ways that we've done so far to do these little leaves on the top. And they don't even have to be this shape. You could do more like this, or you could do more like this. It's totally up to you, however you want to do them. Okay. Just knotting really quickly, and then we'll get started. I'll do the one at the top first so that you can see. Easy peasy. Now the split stitch, I'm going to start from the bottom down here and really tuck it in. Is every stitch you're going to go into the next stitch, into the stitch. So we're going to do our first stitch like this, and I used 4 strands. Now I said there's 2 ways. So the first way, you can combine the ways as well. The first way is you're going to go up a little bit. I need to make it a little bit closer. And then down into the threads. So far, I've been saying don't split your threads. Don't go through your threads. You want to go under your threads or around your threads. But for the split stitch, you literally need to split them. So right in the middle. Yeah? And then we're going to go up a little bit more. And then split this one. So there should be no stitches that are not split. Each one should have a stitch going in the middle. Now I'm using 4 strands. You could probably get away with 6 if you really wanted to have a thicker stem. But it's up to you, however you feel like. Now the second way, so I've just shown you 3 or 4 stitches that are all going forward and then stitching down into the stitch. The other way you can do it is to come up in the middle of the stitch and then go forward. So you're always kind of going forward with this one and then up through the middle. And then forward again. Okay, both of these ways are okay. And I always do one more little split at the very end because I don't want to have any full stitches. I think sometimes it can look a little bit funny when there's one full stitch at the very end. Split stitch, yes. And then for these ones, I'm gonna put a little, like, you know, like when the flower buds open, sometimes they have a little, like bit of green on each side. So I'm gonna do that with mine. You don't have to add these if you don't want to. Split stitch is so fun. It gives a really nice texture that looks almost like chain stitch. So you can see it kind of has that look to it, but it's not. So I'll do split stitch for these leaves here so you can kind of see what they look like filled in. And it doesn't matter which way you do it, if you go forward and then back down through the stitch like that, or if you go up through the middle of the stitch. Both ways are okay. And that's the split stitch. So what we're doing is we're just going to add a couple of these little guys here. And then tomorrow we're going to learn French knots, and then we're going to fill in a couple different places with French knots. And we'll finish these flowers here. So it's so exciting. I had a couple messages over the weekend like, are we going to fill in all of the middles? And we still have 4 days left. We don't finish until Thursday. So we still have a bit of work to do. David's back in school today. So that's exciting, kind of. I think he was liking the later wake-ups and the hour walks with Jessie and all that jazz, you know? Now he's back in school. He was supposed to he was supposed to go to school today because his mouse wasn't working. But the neighbors let him borrow a mouse, and then when they did that, and he went to go like plug it in and stuff and like sort it out, it was like, use this like function of keys to like accept. And when he accepted it, it made the trackpad work again. So I don't know what the deal was, but now his computer works, so that's good. And we can give back the mouse to our neighbor. I'm telling you, get yourself some good neighbors. And then last night, I uploaded all the rest of the videos onto YouTube, so they're all there for you. I just let it go all night. Okay, so here's some split stitch leaves. It's like all of the texture. And then we'll do some other leaves on the other ones so we can kind of see. It's so satisfying to watch. It like really fills in nicely, you know? So there's that. And like, if you're not like keen to do split stitch or anything like that, like if you're like, it just looks like chain stitch to me, I don't really like it, then use a different stitch. It's completely fine. Don't worry about it. Or you could do split stitch for the stem, which is what I'm going to do. And then you could always do something else for the leaves. Little one here. Let's put this a little bit more in the middle, like that. Okay. Now we're going. Okay. So did everyone have a good weekend? Are we all good? Did you do some relaxing? Did you do tidying? What did you do? I didn't really do much. Just uploaded the videos, laundry, cooked some recipes. That's pretty much it. I didn't really do much this weekend. Let's do some detached chain stitch leaves for these ones. Had to think about the next stitch along after we had a chat yesterday in the catch-up time, the catch-up day. When I used to be an art teacher, I used to have this like drawing that I had colored in and stuff, and it was of a ketchup bottle. And whenever we had ketchup days in the art room, I just put the ketchup bottle on the board, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's ketchup day, guys!" Because that means that they could do any project that they wanted, or catch up on things that they're behind on. And the kids liked it. It was funny. Okay, let's do this one over here. They're quite similar colors, aren't they? It'll be fine. Gonna make this one a little bit longer so we can see what it looks like. Long. I need to redraw the other one because it's like straight out and down. Looks a little bit funny to me. I think I'm gonna stop there actually. Let's split this very last one so it's not so long. It's easy to just make it up as you go, you know? And then for this one, let's do like some longer stems, but more of them. Like there. You can do whatever kind of leaves you want. I keep calling the leaves stems and the stems leaves. You guys are probably like, you are confusing us. I wrote the pattern for the kit yesterday. That was fun. I'm going to make this one go over top. So that's all done. So now I just have to upload it and make a link so I can put it in the kits. And then I can reformat it so I can put it on Etsy because they have a file size. So I have to like shuffle some things around. So that's nice. And then let's do the other one, but we have to redraw it a little bit. Just one more left. That one. And it's like, boom, right down the middle. So let's make like one of them go one way and then one of them go the other way. So we'll make this one go like this. And then we'll do a little fly fern stitch situation over here, like that. And that will be better. To me, at least. And we'll be done for the day. Easy peasy one today. Split stitch. Now some people use this stitch for a kind of thread painting as well. Which is quite nice because it makes all of the things, the colors blend together really well, and you don't have to worry about not splitting your strands. So that's worked in like a bit of a different way. It's also like a long and short stitch or long and short split stitch. Okay, and then let's split these ones, and then we'll be ready. Ready for tomorrow's French knots. Now we're doing French knots in the paid stitch along today, not tomorrow, because then we don't have to have them twice. Yeah? Meaning like I have to teach them the same right after each other, you know? So there's that. Good morning, Mel. Or good night, I should say, because it's dark there still. So today we've got split stitch, 4 strands for the stems, and then we're going choose your own adventure for the leaves. Just woke up. Oh my goodness. I'm actually reading a book called The Sanatorium about this hotel that they've made, well, it was a sanatorium, and now they've made it into a hotel. And then someone goes missing, and then someone gets killed, and I keep waking up like in the middle of the night because I fall asleep reading the book. And then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, just like a couple more pages. So I read a couple more pages and then I fall asleep again. Just more useless information that you need to know. Okay, let's see if there's a little scrap of this and then we can finish this one. And then we'll be all ready for French knots tomorrow. So this here is where if you find any other little bits and bobs, so take, if you've got a hoop stand, you know, take it off the hoop stand so you can see the whole hoop. And really have a look at the composition. And if you need any more little fern or fly stitches or any of these like wispy kind of flowers, things like that, then this is the time to add them. Now we also have Wednesday to add them. If you're like, oh, I just don't know, then that's okay too. Let's see, how far should I make this? Obviously, I'm not doing it the proper way. That's okay. Yeah, so we have Wednesday to talk about this as well, to talk about what to do in the middle parts here, how you can fill them up, what kinds of things that you can do to make them look more full, meaning like what other flowers could you add. Yeah, and then we'll talk about all the stuff around here as well. Centers, all that kind of jazz. So don't worry if you're a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do, or you're running out of space or anything like that. We will sort it, I promise. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got. We'll also talk about details on Wednesday, so that's quite fun, meaning like if you think that your flowers are a bit too plain, if you wanted to add a couple things to like jazz it up. I don't want to know my body type. My body type is potato. There we go. So this is what we've got so far. I'm going to take the blow dryer and blow dry all these little things off before tomorrow so we can actually see what we're working with, meaning like, you know, what kind of shapes do we have? If you want to have one side more heavy than the other side, meaning like more flowers are drooping that way, you can do that. Not all bouquets are symmetrical. Not all of them have the same amount of flowers on one side as the other side, or as the top and the bottom, or do you know what I mean? So don't worry if you're like, oh, I don't know. This is not looking how I wanted it to look. Because flowers just do their own things. So don't worry. So that's it from me today. I'll talk with you tomorrow about French knots, and I cannot wait. It's one of my favorite days. If you're doing the paid stitch along, stick around and we'll do French knots right after this. I sound like a TV presenter. Oh my goodness. All right. So I hope you have a good Monday, and I'll talk with you later. All right. Bye.